Hey y'all, and welcome back to the latest installment of Making a Visual Journal with Mrs. So in previous installments, we've done the following. We've organized your visual journal. We've sewn it together as a text block. This bad boy that took us forever, we are going to use this today. So set this to the side because you're going to want it. We cut your covers and your spine boards, which if you're like me, those are drying right now under some weights and flattening out. So I don't have those to show you, but you can look back. Then we gathered and made our cover paper. And so we used our covers and our spine paper for the last one of assembling our book cover. Right now, you need those end papers, the fancy ones that I had you fold in half. We are going to be using those right now for this piece. So I have my two end papers. Okay. So last time we saw each other, we assembled our book covers, and we had those. We had a big, long list of supplies. We're going to need similar supplies for this one, so mentally prepare yourselves. So just like how I do with most of my stuff, I like to make my list. So we're going to make a list of things we need, but this time, because I wrote really weird, we're going to do our supply list on the left side. So we're going to take our end papers, and we're going to stick them to our text block so that once everything's dry, we assemble our book, and we are done. So the supplies that you will need for this part of our step, you will need your end papers. You should have two of them. Okay, they're the 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper that we cut and measured, and then we folded in half, okay, with the pretty part on the inside. You also need your text block. That's the sewn pages. We took 25 pieces of copy paper, folded them into 5 pages each, into 5 stacks of 5, right? And sew them together. And that makes what's called a text block. So you're going to need your text block. Okay. You are also going to want, guess what? You don't need your ruler today. You'll be okay. I don't think you need it for this. You'll be fine. You're going to want a glue stick. Okay. And with that glue stick, you're going to want some like basic paper that you can use as scraps. So some scrap paper. What I usually use are like junk mail, but I didn't want everybody reading through my mail that I don't really need. So I'm going to be using scrap copy paper, but you can use anything that you have on hand. You're just going to need some scraps. Okay. So you're going to need some scrap paper. You're also going to want what I told you not to get rid of last time. You're going to want your scrap of cardboard that we used as like a putty knife, right? We used it as a spreader, kind of like a spackle spreader, okay? You're going to want your white glue that we use with it, that's school glue, right? And then you're also going to want that piece of trash or scrap of whatever, maybe, I think I gave you the idea of a meat tray or old magazine page or something like that, waxy paper. I used the back of a sticker pad, right? So you're going to want that trash for your glue puddle, your white glue puddle. Okay? So those things you're going to want today. We're going to start off simple and work our way to the next step. Okay? So what you're going to do first is make sure you have everything kind of laid out where you can get to it. I'm going to move this out of the way and kind of clean off my workstation so that I've got it set up. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is I want to figure out if this is my book and this is the front of my book because that's number 1. Which of my end papers do I want on the front? And how do I want it turned? If you have words inside, you're going to want to make sure nothing's upside down. So you're double checking it. Making sure everything's good. And I'm going to say, I want this one on the front because it's more vivid, more vibrant, lots of color. Do I want it this way? I want it this way. So that's my front end paper. And it just lines up where the fold lines up with my spine. I just kind of lay it down for right now. Just lay it down. My back side of my text block needs an end paper too. This is where most kids will accidentally turn theirs upside down if it has words on it. So be careful. Figure out which way you want it turned. Let me see. So I'm going to look at my book, look at my end paper. I don't want the purple in the same spot. So I'm going to do mine that way. So I'm going to do back side end paper, front side end paper. So far so good. Got it nice and stacked. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to glue this piece to the front of your text block. So if you have something really pretty there, like if you're one of my students who already has decorated pages, this is going to get covered up. I'm sorry. That's just the way this book works. So just this first piece of paper of your text block, we're going to glue this side onto here. We're going to do it in stages so that you get a really good stick on there, okay? Remember how I told you if you have like a credit card or something, I use the edge of scissors to kind of burnish it out. You're going to want to do that. So the reason I told you to have scrap paper is because this part you're going to want some scrap paper. So this is where, instead of a piece of copy paper, I usually use like scrap mail, right? Like we all get junk mail. So I'll put a piece of mail right there. The main reason for that is I don't want all my pages to be glued together, so that helps protect my page. So I just slide that sheet of copy paper in just to protect my page. Okay? You're going to be using a lot of glue today, so prepare yourself. What I want you to do is really go to town with this glue stick. You're going to be twisting it a lot. Glue sticks dry really fast, so if you want to watch how I do this first and then do it, that is extremely smart. Okay? I wouldn't roll it all out at once or it's going to be like a little kid who eats chapstick, right? You don't want it to break off and be annoying. Don't act like you never did. We all probably did, right? I know my mom got mad because I used it as blush as a kid and it was all over my face. But we all do stuff like that. So before it dries, I'm really quickly trying to get it all on there. The last part where your fingers can't really hold anywhere is the hardest. I've got a chunky monkey, right? Look how chunky that is. Okay, it is what it is. So now what I'm going to do, oh, look how gross that is. Okay, I'm going to take mine, make sure it's set up the way I want it to be, and I'm going to take the folds, I'm going to line it up with my spine. I got to work kind of quick. And I lay it down, folded, smooth it out with my hands. And then I'm going to open up just my end paper, because what I want to do is use my scissors or my credit card or whatever it is that you're using. See how it'll shove some of that glue stick out? That's good. You want that out of there, right? That means you're getting a nice, all those air bubbles are out, just like we've mentioned before where you put a screen protector on an electronic and you have to use that fancy card they give you. If you have one of those laying around, that'll be perfect for this. Sorry, you hear my scissors hitting my tabletop. That's annoying, but it is what it is. So I'm getting it nice and adhered on there really well. I really opened it up because I really want it stuck close to the spine. This is another one of those times in class where we'll use rubber cement just because it makes a better bond. But we don't have any at home probably, so I'm using what you most likely have on hand at home. So now you'll see why I don't have you do it with the book closed. It's still going to be sticky, but if you want to open it, you can really see how your book looks, and you can see where you might want to spread it a little bit more. But what I would do is just kind of keep that piece of paper there, try to keep it kind of lined up. If it sticks a little bit, I'll show you a trick to getting that out. Okay, so no stress. Just going to set that in there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing to the back end paper. So this is the back of the text block. I just flipped the whole thing over. Oops. Hey, glue stick. Don't die on me. Okay, my hands are sticky. I'm going to take that very last page and I'm going to stick this back end paper, the fold lining up with the spine, onto the outer side of the back of my text block. So I'm going to take my sheet of copy paper and I'm going to set it underneath that back page. And I'm going to put glue all over this. And I'm going to make sure this goes the way I want it to. I'm going to set it on there. So this is the time where most kids will accidentally flip it upside down if it has words. So be a little careful. Okay, so I must get glue all over this. Nice and thick. You want a good bond. Remember, it gets awkward where you don't have your fingers. Make sure you get it on the spine really well because that's the part that you really need it. Oh, poo. I ran out of glue. This is not the time to run out of glue. Good thing I bought a big pack of them. You can recycle glue sticks. Oh, wow. Look at how the color's different. Sorry, I know that's super nerdy. Y'all are probably like, okay, lady. That's neat. Weird. Okay. So, getting that on there real quick. Running out of finger space. Starting to dry on me. Get some of the dry spots, especially along the spine. And then I'm going to take my end paper, make sure I line up the fold with the spine as best I can. Make sure it's not crooked. Okay. And now I'm going to do this. Move that out of the way. Take my scissors. Push it along, right? Push it along. Get that spine really well. Then I'm going to open this bad boy and rub it along. I want to squeeze out some of that glue. So if it's coming out, that's a good thing, right? That means I'm getting those air bubbles out. So that's setting up. Huh. Different types of glue. That's cool. Okay. So this one's dead. This one is still alive. So just a little trick in case you have young children at home. I will usually just recycle the empty glue stick and keep the cap. You know why? Because what do kids lose a lot? The cap. And you don't want a dead glue stick. So you have some extra caps. You don't need a whole posse and fleet of extra caps, but just some. Okay, so now you're probably wondering, well, we got all that done. Why did we need that white glue? And here's what I'm going to show you how to do. Okay, and you know what? One thing I forgot to put on our supply list is you're going to need weights again, like some type of weight to put on this. So, sorry, I forgot to put that on the last one too, but you figured it out, right? You read my mind. So, if you've ever done any like plumbing work or housework, like even if you haven't, you've probably noticed that there's a sealant called caulking around windows and tubs and showers, okay? When you do caulking, you want to have a good seam. So what we have here is we have our spine, which is usually the most fragile part of our book. That's where your knots will pop as you use a book, and just where it's weak. So a lot of times, like if you remember your old textbooks, they'll also put like a piece of fabric there just to protect it. But what we're going to do is we're going to seal it in with some white glue. So I've just got my book. It doesn't matter which side is which, right? Just laying it down. If you have more scrap paper, what I want you to do, and I have one that's folded, just take your scrap paper and put it down. If you have waxy paper, this works really well. Okay, we're going to put it down, and we're going to get another piece for the top, because we're going to press this when we're done so you can see what it'll look like. So I'll put one on top. But what we're going to do is we're going to put white glue along our seam. So I'm going to pour myself a little puddle using my little spackle putty knife from last time. This is where you don't want to use too much white glue, but you do want to use a good amount. If it gets stuck to your copy or scrap paper, that is not a big deal. This side of the paper, so where it might get stuck to my scrap paper once I press it, it's going to be covered by my cover anyway, so you don't need to worry too much about that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my book and I'm going to hold it in my hands so I can see the spine. And this is awkward because I am not left-handed, so I need to move this a little bit easier. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take my little puddle of glue and my spreader, and I'm going to seal off those cracks. And you're going to want to give yourself plenty of time to let this dry too. So I'm sealing up my cracks. I'm using enough to really sink in there, but not too much that it's goopy and a sloppy mess, right? You don't want it to be a sloppy hot mess. So you can use the side to kind of sink into those cracks between your stacks of 5, which we call signatures when we're bookmaking. Okay, get some more. Work my way towards the end. Okay. Now I'm almost done. Now, just like last time, I told you not to throw away this scraper and your puddle thing. Don't throw it away again. We're going to need it for the next time. So I'm going to take this and lay it on a piece of scrap paper. Wax paper works great for this. Even aluminum foil will work. But I'm just using copy paper because I don't mind if I have to tear it off. Okay, I'm going to lay another piece on top just so it doesn't stick to my board. And move this out of the way. Okay. So I used my board. My board is still taking care of my cover. So I had to find something different. So like I told you, we're being resourceful. I went to my husband's workshop and found like just a board, right? Like just a big old fat board. You could use a smaller board. But I'm just going to lay that on there. And I'm going to take my weight and I'm going to press it on there, okay? But guess what? I forgot to tell you where I need your photos to be if you're in my class. So let me take that off. If you were my student, there are a couple photos I want to take so that make sure you did it correctly. And so you can turn in for your grade on Google Classroom. So I'm going to use my iPad to pull that up. See how it's already sticking there. Look, I should have done my pictures beforehand. So hopefully you're watching your videos and knowing what to do. Okay, the first photo I want to see is that your end papers are attached. Okay, so I should have done that before I glued the spine. But you know what? It is what it is. Okay, so I'm going to hold it up a little funky. See my iPad over there trying to take pictures of stuff. Okay, hold it so that I can see everything. And take a picture. Okay, and then I want to see one where you've glued your spine. So your spine has glue on it. So I'm going to just rotate it and take a picture. Okay, so from there, you're going to put things back where they were. So just put your scrap there. Grab your paperweight. There you go. And I like to put my weight closer to where the spine is, just to make sure it presses that. And so if your pages are rippled, like if you've already decorated your pages, then that'll help flatten out your book too. Okay, so the next video is our last one. We'll be ready to rock and roll.